disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden. And with me this week, standing in for my partner, Mike Gibbs, is Alex Dingmann. We got a substitute in the house. What's up, Alex?
What's happening, guys?
All right, if this is your first time with us, I want you to know we're members of the Martial Arts InterNetwork. Mondays, we have Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays, CTE, Chris, Carlos, and Travis Experience. Wednesdays is Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gina Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Alex, it's showtime.
What's happening, brother?
Nothing much. What's up, man?
Dude, I am jacked to get into this. Okay. I've been watching Cobra Kai on loop. Like, literally. I'm going through it again. Like, in short time, too.
Right. Let me ask you this. Is this your first time seeing Cobra Kai, or did you watch it?
I didn't do the YouTube thing.
Okay.
So I'm getting it fresh, raw.
So you got hooked on it, huh?
Heck, I'm not even kidding you. This sounds like overkill, but I don't care. Whatever, dude. I went on Amazon and bought some like Cobra Kai T-shirts and stuff. Like I'm that into it.
You know what? If you go to Spencer's, I think Spencer's had Cobra Kai things in there where you can get T-shirts, headbands. They did previously. They did. I've seen it
though. But then you got to go to a mall.
Yeah,
isn't this weird? Like that, I don't want to have to go. I don't want to have to go places.
You don't want to have to go places.
I don't want to have to go places to get things.
You mask up, man. You mask up.
No, I don't even care about the mask. I don't even care about the mask. Like I don't want to have to go somewhere to get something.
So you want
now
to
that things just come to us? Like, yeah, just bring it to me.
But you want to depend on the postal service or FedEx?
I know. That's a good point.
Well, let me ask you this also. I don't know how it is in Chicago. So are you in a house or an apartment?
House.
Okay. So when your packages get delivered, do they just drop it off and leave? Or is somebody home?
Listen, this is so what I bought this like a few months ago when I bought all this DJ equipment that I got, which was a ton of stuff. Mm-hmm. Some stuff said that I had to get like a signature for because it was like really expensive, which I was like, all right, cool, yeah. Some stuff they would take pictures of and send me an email and say, hey, this just arrived at this time. Cool. I call my wife. All right, hey, this is there. Bring it in. Some stuff got returned back because no one was there. And some stuff was just kind of hanging out there and I didn't know about it. So I'm like, whatever. It's all it don't matter.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's all good. Yeah, but I might have to give that a shot though.
What, the Spencers?
I might have to.
You just go in and take a look around if they still have it. I don't even know if they still have it. I know last year when I went to I was looking for my son's Halloween costume.
Yeah,
and
that's
Spirit of Hollywood. Spirit of Hollywood. Had some stuff in it. So, all right, man. You ready?
I'm jacked. I'm ready.
All right. So this is episode number 3. All right. Here we go. All right. We start off. We see Miguel's grandmother, and she's in the kitchen. She's cooking dinner. She's calling for Miguel to come out to fix lay the table out for dinner. And Miguel doesn't hear her working out. He's doing punches. And hold on one second. And let me get my remote control. And he's doing his punches. And
that's the only thing he's learned yet. All he's been taught is how to punch. Johnny didn't teach him how to kick yet. So he's just punching the air. And but he's also, I can't hear you, Gene. So I'm just, you kind of froze. So I'm just going to keep going. So he's also in this like 80s rock music thing going on because like he was like showing Johnny, or Sensei, at the school. It's like, oh yeah, this is rad. I went down this 80s rock whole thing and it was awesome. It was kick ass, man. Everything like that's like the saying of the whole TV series is badass and kick ass. You probably never heard, you might have never said those two words 2 times in your life. But badass and kick ass, apparently, you can't go 2 seconds without saying that in Cobra Kai. Yeah, so that was the other thing. Sorry, man. You froze again a little bit. So I'm okay. So he goes. So here was the funny thing. All right, so grandma calls him in. She says, all right, come on in for dinner. And he's like, he's like, oh, okay, grandma. But because all she speaks is Spanish throughout the whole show. She'll speak in Spanish, which is crazy because everybody responds to her in English. She understands, but that's all right. My Italian family understands that the same way. So she responds to him like, oh, yeah, he's probably whatever. He's probably something that a teenage boy would do, whatever. So that's how that scene went. All right. I caught us up, Jim.
All right, I just put my Ethernet cable in.
That's all right. We're good.
I heard you going, but then you, I guess I froze up and went out on me. But I don't know. I put my Ethernet in now, so hopefully I should be good to go. All right.
So grandma calls him in.
Yeah, grandma calls in, asks him to come sit at the table. She thinks he's in there masturbating.
I didn't even say it, but all right, yeah, that's what she said.
She thinks. Then the next scene, his mom comes in. Miguel's at the table. He's eating dinner. His mom comes in, and she apologizes for being late. He says it's no problem. They're short-staffed. It's no deal. So then she asks if he decided what he wanted to be for the Halloween dance. And he said that he was thinking about a Deadpool outfit. And she said, okay, well, how much is it? He's trying to, he knows that that money is tight for him.
No, he knew what they were going to try to do to him.
Who you think?
Miguel knew that they were going to try to like dress him up in something messed up.
Well,
he ended up
almost. He almost ended up in something horrible. So his mom was like, well, if you want a Deadpool costume, we can make you a Deadpool costume. The grandma was not feeling that at all, so she said no. She wasn't interested in doing that. Have you ever had something like that happen? Have you ever had?
Yes. But see, the thing, mine was actually pretty good because my mom works in like cameras, but she's on the other side of the camera. So my mom's behind the camera. She's a photo stylist, right? That's what she does. So one year I said, Ma, I want to be Rocky. She made me Rocky.
Wait a minute. Why
would I want to be Rocky?
No, that's not the question.
Oh, okay.
That's not the question. Okay, you grew up in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Minnesota is probably a little bit colder than Detroit.
Oh,
and the weather is always horrible here.
Listen,
for Halloween.
I'll tell you this. Anybody from Minnesota listening to this knows what I'm talking about. When I say 1991, there's only 2 things that come to mind when it comes to Minnesota. The Twins won the World Series, and on Halloween, kid you not, it sounds like an exaggeration. I promise it's not. There was 36 inches of snow on Halloween.
And you went as Rocky?
No, not that year. Not that year. I'm going as Rocky. But I went as Rocky. I've done that. Oh yeah.
I mean, only thing I can think of is you had the gloves on. You probably had the American red, white, and blue shorts.
No, my mom didn't let me wear shorts. There was no shorts, man. It's kidding me. I had to wear a winter jacket. But she made me look like I just got hit by a truck. Like it was good. But
did a lot of people ask you if you were Rocky, or like how did they know?
You know what? That was one where it's like you could only tell when I took off my winter coat and I got back home, was basically like that's the one where it's like you take the pictures and then you go out there and you're a little kid. So you
yeah, I got you, man.
What are you
I
gonna do? Say
know
no?
the feeling. I know the feeling, man. Like 1 year for me, I wanted to be a karate guy. So this is before I became a martial artist.
Same.
You know, so I got the karate uniform, right? And it was cold. And I wanted to just wear the uniform, the gi that I had. But my mom said, well, no, you have to wear your winter coat on top of it. And I said, well, what's the point of having a costume? So she was like, well, wear the costume over the winter coat. Man, I don't know why I did that. And that's exactly what I did. I put the winter coat on. So, they're big and, puffy. I put the uniform on top. Nobody thought I was a karate guy. They thought I was like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I was like, no. I was like, I got the headband on. I got the little black belt that came with the uniform. But nobody could guess that I was a karate guy, So, anyway. Okay, so the next scene, Miguel is training in the dojo. Johnny is getting slammed with bills. So, he must have been open for a couple of months at this point.
I think that's kind of what it was, yeah.
Yeah, if he's getting hit with bills already. He asked Miguel if he had any other friends who wanted to train, and Miguel asked when he was going to learn how to kick. And he said, it looked, badass. And Johnny said, yeah.
Badass.
Johnny said, yeah, kicking is badass, but you're not ready yet. And if we don't get more students, we don't get more students, then you're not going to be able to train anyway. And then Miguel asked him if he thought about advertising, and Johnny says, duh. So I guess he just realized that he didn't.
Well, no,
I don't think
he didn't realize. What I love about Johnny's character, like Johnny, is he never fails to give you the 1980s like verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
It is badass, bro. Hey, broham. Like everything is like he just took 1986 and then just placed it in 2020.
It almost made me feel like Johnny was away somewhere. Like, how could he miss so much that changed? Like, we see later on, like, he doesn't know anything about the internet. He doesn't know about social media. Like, I'm thinking, like, where have you been all of this time? I'm thinking, like, maybe he did some time in jail. Maybe he was away or something like that.
But no, remember his gig. Like, you don't really need anything but a flip phone to be able to do what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
Got an apartment. He's got a gig.
Yeah.
He's told what to do. Go do it. Here's your money. End of story. It's not like you saw his apartment. It's not like he's aspiring to do anything. You know what I mean? I suppose it's possible if you want to try to piece it together. But it makes the story fit so well that he's like, yeah, duh.
Right.
And what was his advertising?
Well, we'll see about that in a minute. The next scene, Daniel is watching Kyler and Sam outside of their house. And then Daniel's wife, she enters. And she's talking to him, but he's not really listening. He's paying attention. Because in the last episode, Johnny explained to him that he saw Kyler and his friends jumping Miguel when he stepped in to help. And he also told Daniel that maybe he doesn't know his daughter as well as he thinks he does. And he's right about that, man, because Johnny knows stuff about the people that she's hanging out with. Because he knew that the girls that she was in the car with slammed into his car. He knew that. And then he knows that she's hanging out with Kyler and his friends, So Johnny was, kind of right, So I guess it seeped into Daniel's subconscious. So he's watching Kyler a little closer now. But Amanda, his wife, tells him not to worry. And she's complaining about his cousin Louis, who works at the dealership also.
Dude, Louis is your basic Dago. Louis is he's as Dago as it gets, man.
What does that mean? I don't know that term.
Okay, there you go. Here's
what is that? That's a Minnesota thing or a Chicago thing?
No, that's an Italian thing. So Dago is basically it's douchebag for Italians.
I got you.
Right? And they just feel like they're superior to everything just because they're Italian, and they want to make sure that they let everybody know. All right, like if I tell you, hey, I'm gonna put on a beater and I'm gonna go, you know what I'm talking about, right? But like in Chicago, a certain group of people, like Italians, they don't call them beaters. They don't call them white beaters. They call them dagotees.
I got you. That's
right.
Okay, I got you. Okay. All right.
So
let's move on.
Louis is a dago. He's a stereotypical dago.
Yeah, especially what he does later on in the series. Yeah. Okay, so the next scene, Daniel is in his office with Louis and Anush, and he's telling him how he feels about Samantha and the person she's dating. They're trying to give him advice on what to do. Yeah, and they're making it worse. Eventually, Daniel says, he's just going to talk to her. That's all he can do. Next scene after that is the school cafeteria, and the principal is talking to the kids about bullying. Now, this scene here, we eventually are going to flash back kind of to this in season 2, because this is the scene where Eli is upset because the kids have been talking about his lip. And in season 2, he goes home and he's crying about that with his mom. And he runs out of the room when he's talking with her. And then that's when she decides to call. So the principal at this point is making an announcement about teasing and bullying. Miguel looks at him and says, if you're tired of getting bullied, my dojo is looking for new recruits. And then Dimitri, he just has something sarcastic to say. He figured, he said, oh, yeah, you hear that, Eli? We're going to learn some karate and learn to kick some serious butt. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to punch him in his stupid face. I don't care if he's a kid. I wanted to hit him, throw some gear on him.
Nobody needs to get beat up more, including Kyler and Daniel. Nobody needs to get beat up more than Dimitri.
Yeah. So I think in real life, if this was real life, I think people probably would have ignored Dimitri, but he seems like the type of person that would always run his mouth.
But he never stops.
Yeah, and that gets him in trouble.
Even when he gets whooped at times, like he never stops.
I hate those type of people. I hate them.
Like it is like you're leaving me no choice. I want to stop, but you won't. So you're leaving me no choice but to stomp you. I don't even want to. I want you to go away, but you follow me. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You have to get stomped. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
So, now as this is going on, Samantha's friend Aisha, she slides her chair back and she talks to Samantha, and she has an idea about where they can dress up as for the Halloween party. She says, she wants, one to be sodium, the other can be chloride, so they could be table salt together. When someone asked them, they were going to dump out some table salt, and they thought that was funny.
It was clever.
Yeah, Yasmin, she didn't like it. I wonder what's the backstory with them, because she clearly cannot stand Aisha,
but it doesn't really sound like she can stand much of anyone.
Yeah, because she made fun of Eli also.
It's power for her. She don't have any, but if she's got this group where she's the head of, and it's the Mean Girl Club, now she's powerful.
Yeah. Did you have girls like that in your high school?
Every high school's got girls like that. I'll never forget. I know this. There was this girl. Her name. I'll name her. Her name was Crystal. Okay. Now, my best friend in high school was Chris Langasson. This dude, he was the freaking chameleon. He was the coolest guy in the school. We're best friends, and I'm sharing a locker with him. And that was the best move I ever made, because everybody loves Chris. It was like we used to joke about it, like, oh, there's another person in the I Heart Chris Club, right? Everybody loves him. So this girl, Crystal, but she was an itchy bee, right? I'll say it that way, man. I tell you what. And everything she did was just like this one girl.
Okay.
Fast forward, all right? going to at that time, our 10-year high school reunion. So Chris is like, oh, yeah, Crystal's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, man, she's just an itchy bee, man. I don't want to have anything to do with her, right? This dude tells her I said that.
Oh, my gosh.
So then she's like, oh, gee, I heard that I really affected you in high school. Like, it was something that was really, really bad. And I had to tell her, I was like, no. That's just you. Like, you can't help it. Like you don't have any other way to be it. So, yes. Yeah.
Did y'all eventually squash it? Did y'all, were y'all all right now?
No. She
did
all sorts of, yeah, it wasn't even with me. It was with my buddy. So after that, we went out. My buddy's wife was a bartender somewhere. So we went there and she tagged along. Yeah. He scored great points with his wife with that one, right? Exactly. Why would you allow that to happen? Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Let's move on. Okay. So, so she, Samantha tries to make peace between them. So she says, maybe we can get another outfit for her. And then Yasmin came back in with another comment saying it's one size fits all. But that's suddenly seems like false advertisement. And, that hurt Aisha's feelings. And she kind of just scooted back to her table and left them alone. I felt bad for the girl,
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I was also pissed at what Daniel's daughter's name. What's her name again?
Samantha.
I'll be pissed at her. Like,
yeah, because you're not saying nothing. We're friends.
You just heard what she said to me.
Right. She never stands up for her.
She doesn't stand up to anybody. Mm-mm. She doesn't stand up for anybody.
No. All right, next scene. So the next scene after that, we got Johnny. This is a funny scene. He is talking to homeless Lynn, and he gives her a sign, and he wants her to stand up at the street and do advertising. That's his form of advertising. He wants her to, put a sign.
He's back in 1986.
Yeah, actually, I thought about doing this for my school. I thought about
that's actually not bad advertising. That's not bad, depending on the time and day and depending on the situation. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I was like, is this? I was conflicted. I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do or wrong thing. If I pay this guy to do this, or am I just taking advantage of somebody? So I didn't know if I should do it, and I didn't do it. But I came close. I thought about really doing it for advertising my school. She asked if Johnny wanted her to flash his bits. He says no.
Nobody wants to see that.
And then she says that she wants meth in a burrito. And he says, well, you can just, spend your money on whatever you want. That's how money works, And he reiterates, just hold a sign up, point traffic to the dojo, you'll get your money. And then he walks off. So then we see him walking around, like you said, old school marketing. He's putting up flyers on trees, on poles. He's handing them out. And they weren't even the postcard flyers that everyone uses now.
It's a yellow piece of paper.
It's a yellow piece of paper.
Not even construction paper, printer paper.
Yeah, printer paper. That's extremely, that's 1985 marketing.
And it doesn't even, and all it is just a picture of him.
Yeah, that's it.
Going like that. Says Cobra Kai and like a phone number. I don't even know if I had a phone number.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he might have had his address and his phone number on there. Who knows? The next scene after that, Daniel is looking for Sam so he can talk to her, but she's in the shower. He walks over to her laptop. Now, when he was in a meeting with Anush and Louis earlier, Louis told him to get her phone and look at her phone to see what's going on. And he said that he wasn't going to do that. But now he sees that her laptop is open. And when he enters the room, he sees that she gets a message from Kyler. And the message says something like, I want to show you something big or something like that. So he was not happy about that. And then his wife, I don't know, man. I don't know, because I understand that raising daughters is rough, and I did it. I assisted. I was married about 13 years ago, and my ex-wife, her daughter was a teenager, so I came into Kara's life when she was 14. So she was right at that age. She was right there. And we went through some stuff when she was, 15, 16, 17. So I kind of understand what Daniel was thinking, and he wanted to, keep an eye on her. But I don't know about. I don't know. That's one of those decisions that you have to make as a parent when you're faced with it at that time. Like, I can't say right now if I have another daughter that I would go through, or my son when he gets older. Well, then again, my son.
What would you do with Champ?
He's 7 right now. It's no telling the technology that's going to be around, by the time he wants a phone, and who knows, man? Like, little kids are having phones now. I don't even know the proper age to give him a phone. One time I took him to McDonald's and they have a playscape, and he was playing with a little girl, and at the time he was 5 and she was 7, and the little girl came to me and said, "Can I have his phone number?" And I said, "He's 5. He doesn't have a phone." She said, "Well, I'm 7. I've had a phone since I was 6. And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't.
Well, he 6 either.
he doesn't have a phone, So when we left, he told the girl to come back to the McDonald's to check on him sometime. I was like, what's going on here? So I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do when Champ gets that age and got a phone and everything. Okay, so let's keep moving on. Right. So Daniel's wife, she catches him. She asks him, what was he doing? And he makes up a lie and says, well, he was just checking the Wi-Fi because his phone wasn't working, so he wanted to see, if she was having the same problem on her phone. And then he says, no.
He should have just said straight up. He should have just said, someone said they wanted to show Samantha something big. What do you think I was doing?
Right. So he walks out of the room. He tries to change the subject and asks if she knows what she wants for dinner or whatever. Next scene after that, Johnny pulls up to his dojo. He sees homeless Lynn. She's under the sign. She looks relaxed. So she probably got her meth. And she's eating a burrito. Miguel is there, and he says, I thought you said, you wanted me to be here at 5:00. Johnny says, no, well, we're not training today. Miguel asks why. They walk into the dojo, and Miguel is really excited because he has something that he wants to show Johnny. He opens up his laptop and shows Johnny that he made a Cobra Kai webpage while he was in study hall. Now, I was surprised when he did that because I didn't even know that Johnny would even know what a website was. He
probably didn't.
Yeah. But he was looking at it.
But he saw something that said Cobra Kai. Obviously, he's going to be interested.
Right. As he's looking at it, Miguel's trying to explain everything to him, and then Miguel's phone rings.
Oh, Mom. This is when this happened. I got on that.
Yo, you said it when I was having internet problems again.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that was my bad. But go ahead. No. This part was fantastic.
No problem. So, the song that's playing is Rat, and Johnny was surprised to hear that coming from Miguel's phone. And it impressed him. And Miguel tells him that he ended up looking at 80s rock music and went down a whole rabbit hole and learned a lot about a lot of 80s rock music. So Johnny was impressed.
It was badass.
Yeah. So then, because he said that, Johnny feels like, okay, well, I'm going to teach you about kicking. So he tells him, meet me at the high school tonight at midnight. Next scene, Daniel and his family are having dinner. Sam says she feels sorry for Aisha, but, she doesn't really want to go as sodium chloride. Her mom understands she wouldn't want to either. Daniel then tells them that he received an email from the school and they needed chaperones. He's lying. That did not happen. He wanted to keep a closer eye on Kyler, especially after seeing that message. So when Sam hears that Daniel has volunteered to help with the chaperoning, she gets upset. She looks to her mom for help. Her mom tries to, say, would you want your mom to chaperone, and Daniel says, "Well, my mom drove me on dates," and we saw that in the first Karate Kid.
Now, see, there's not a lot of things where I'm like, "Oh, Daniel, that was a smart move." This is a smart move, Daniel. You find your way. You have no way to get there. You know that there's something bad. How can you plant yourself there? Smart move. Smart move. And smart comeback. Also, by the way, like, oh, would you want your mom there? Like, you kidding me?
Right.
You got nothing. You got nothing to complain about when it comes to this.
Right. So he tells Sam that she won't see him. He'll be a ghost. Next scene, Johnny and Miguel are at the high school. Johnny ties Miguel's hands together. He pushes him in the water, and he tells him to kick. Miguel just drops down. Johnny goes over him, pulls him up, and tells him he needs to kick harder and faster. He lets him go. He drops down again. He comes back. Johnny sees he's still having a hard time. He pulls him up, tells him to keep saying Cobra Kai never dies. He says it about 2 or 3 times. He tells him to kick with his legs. This time, I'm not going to help you. And he drops him in again. And, time is passing, and he eventually starts kicking his legs, and then he comes up to the top, and Johnny is happy. So then we go into a montage after that, and we see Miguel kicking boards, trying to get his kicks stronger. And then we see of him eventually break boards, and he gets through that. The security guards come into the pool, tell him to get out. So Johnny told Miguel that he knew the person who was the night guard.
Oh, yeah. He lied.
He lied to him. And then that's the end of that scene. Next scene after that, Johnny is looking at more bills. Miguel is excited because now he's broken boards. He knows how to kick. So he's starting to feel himself now. That's when he puts on his costume. Johnny tells him to put on his costume. I'm taking you to the school dance, and we're going to get some more students. And Miguel pulls out this ridiculous costume. It looked like his grandmother's robe with a hood pulled over his head, and he had little, eyes cut out so he could see. And Johnny asked him, "What the hell is that?" And he says, "It's my costume. It started off as Deadpool, and then it turned into something else." And Johnny tells him, "I can't let you go out like that." And that's the end of that scene. The next scene after that, we see Miguel walk into the school dance, and he has on the skeleton outfit. I like that.
Yeah, the same one that they had in the original Karate Kid, which was a really cool costume.
Right.
The way they wore it with the makeup and everything, it was good. It was cool.
Yeah, I kick myself all the time, like recently, because like my uncle used to have Halloween parties at the karate school, and me and Trav and Steve and everyone else that used to hang with us, we never thought to dress up as the Cobra Kai skeletons. Like that would have been sweet if we would have showed up to the Halloween party like that.
That was
5 of us. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Miguel approaches Dimitri and Eli. Now, Dimitri is dressed like the sorcerer, but he says he's not a sorcerer. He calls himself something else. Dude. I don't know what he was talking about or what he think he was.
I don't know. He said something, must have been referencing Dungeons and Dragons or something, but this dude said it with such arrogance.
Yeah, he did.
It deserves a backhanded slap.
Yeah.
You know how many lives you must have? Whatever.
So then Eli is dressed up as a surgeon, and he says he's a plastic surgeon.
So he can cover his mouth.
Right.
So you wouldn't have to see the lip.
Right. Man, it's so amazing how we see him in these first few episodes, and he changes by the second half of this season. Like he's a different kid. We see Daniel talking to the principal, and Sam is texting Daniel, and she's basically saying, "Look, I shouldn't be seeing you, but I see you right now. You're supposed to be a ghost. Disappear somewhere."
Yeah.
Johnny, we see Johnny. He's walking through the school halls, and he's putting up flyers on the lockers. He even approached somebody who was making out in the hallway and tried to give him a flyer.
Remember what he said, though?
Yeah, he actually said the whole
funniest thing.
He said the whole website.
www. Period.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Period.
Yeah.
COM.
Yeah.
All lowercase. All one word.
Right.
They're like, yeah, thanks, old timer.
Right. And then Daniel is back talking to the principal still, and it looks like she was kind of flirting with him also. And
yeah, kind of. Well, he's kind of the guy out there.
I don't even know why. Just because he got a couple of car lots, I mean, I don't.
That it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But they tried explaining it up because they tried saying karate in the Valley is like football in Texas.
Yes, yeah. So Sam approaches Aisha, and she attempts to apologize to her. But she says, don't worry, I would rather go as a Laker girl also, as opposed to something funny. Then Sam tells her, maybe we should hang out sometime. It's been a long time. Aisha agrees. She says she likes that. And as Daniel and the principal are talking, Daniel sees Miguel walk by, and Miguel has on the skeleton costume. Yeah. Daniel starts having flashbacks to when Cobra Kai beat him up. And but that was a beating that he deserved. I mean, I couldn't feel sorry for him because he turned a water hose on Johnny at the party. Johnny and them hadn't bothered him. They hadn't seen him. They hadn't done anything to him at that point.
So like in the original Karate Kid, I don't subscribe to that Daniel was the bad guy. I still think Johnny was the bad guy. However, what are you supposed to do at the beach? Right? Mm-hmm. Right? I get that. All right, you're talking to the girl. Beach, that's Johnny's fault. Johnny's shoving him. Like, what's he supposed to do? Just cower? Like, no, he's going to stand up for himself. Get Daniel credit. Daniel, in the original, stood up for himself, got pounded. All right?
Yeah.
Now there was the bicycle scene and tears him down like, yeah, Johnny, that's all your fault, man.
Now, but no, I disagree. I disagree. Because Johnny, if you watch that again, Johnny and Cobra Kai never touched him on the bicycle. They never touched him.
But they did. They wanted him to fall. They wanted him to do that.
But he could have stopped pedaling. That's all he had to do.
No, he couldn't.
How come?
They would have pushed him over. He's trying to get the heck out of the way.
And then one of them would have failed. He was on a bicycle.
You have a little bit of a point.
I mean, he had a bicycle. They had motorbikes.
So they're like dirt bikes, I think.
Yeah, dirt bikes. He failed, whatever.
But now the Halloween scene, though, no, nobody was bothering anybody for months. All right. Yeah. Well, at least like a month.
6 weeks or so. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's bothering anybody. They're doing their thing. He's rolling a joint in the bathroom.
Right.
And Daniel puts a hose and just turns the water on. Like, what did you think was going to happen? You ran for a purpose. You ran because you knew you were going to get stomped. And when you got caught, you got stomped.
Yep. All right. So let's go on. So then Daniel decides to follow Miguel, and he runs into Johnny in the hallway putting up the flyers. Daniel tells Johnny, asks him, what is he doing? He said, I'm minding my business. Why don't you try minding yours? Daniel doesn't like that. He tells him he doesn't understand why Johnny would ever want to bring back Cobra Kai. And I don't understand. It seemed to me like Daniel had a problem with the name of Cobra Kai. If Johnny would have just named it Johnny's Karate, would Daniel have had a problem?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So
he does have more of a problem with the name. But think about it. Think of the way Daniels carried himself the whole time.
Yeah.
If he would have brought back, Johnny Q Karate or whatever, Johnny Karate or whatever, he would have just still been like, come on, it's still Cobra Kai Karate. Get that out of here.
He probably would have. Yeah, he probably would have. So then as they're talking, Daniel sees behind Johnny, he sees his daughter. He sees Sam and Kyler sneaking off. So now he's thinking that this must be where Kyler wants to show her something, and I got to put a stop to this. So he follows him, and he tells Johnny that he needs to get off school grounds. He's not supposed to be there. Daniel, you don't even work for the school or the school board. Like, what authority do you have to tell him to leave school grounds? I don't know. I hate him. Anyway, well, when they were talking also, Johnny did tell him, like, I'm not Kreese. And the lessons that I learned at Cobra Kai, they worked. But Daniel he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to listen. He says that he was not going to let Johnny put those type of thoughts in these kids' heads. But anyway, Daniel takes off after his daughter and Kyler. Now, the next scene, we see Miguel. He sees some girls. So he's standing with Dimitri and Eli. He wants to go talk to the girls. Dimitri tells him to wait a minute. He doesn't really want to go talk right now. And the next thing you know, some other guys swoop in. They take the girls, and then they go off dancing.
Got to strike first.
Pretty much. Miguel was a little upset. Eli must have been a little upset also because he said, I got to go to the bathroom. So then all three of them, they go to the bathroom together. I never saw guys do that before. So that was normally a girl thing that, they all go to the bathroom together. That was the first time I saw guys go to the bathroom together. So they walk off. And then Yasmin, once again, she sees Aisha and, she says something insulting about her. Every time I see Yasmin and Aisha, I just feel so bad for Aisha. Every time, because Yasmin is just literally picking on her, Well,
you never see Yasmin not picking on someone.
You really don't.
That's what I was saying. It's all about power for her.
Yeah,
she wants power over people.
Yeah. Next scene after that, we got Sam and Kyler. They are in a classroom together, and Kyler is trying to be slick. He says he has something to show Sam. He says he needs help unbuckling his belt, so she's trying to help him. And Daniel looks in the window. He sees them messing around in there. His mind goes to where any father's mind would have went. He bursts in and puts it into it. Kyler tells him it's not what you think, and then he pulls out a bracelet and says it was his grandmother's, and he wanted to give it to Sam. And he felt a little bad about that. Sam was embarrassed, and she said that she didn't want to talk to her dad, and she kind of storms out of there.
But I would have saw right through that line and be like, "It's your grandmother's. It's your grandmother's. It's your grandmother's." And you're just going to take that. Apparently, it's a value. If it's a value, why are you giving it to somebody you just started dating a couple weeks ago? It's because it's not.
Next scene after that, Yasmin has made a mean post about Aisha, and she sent it to the whole school. Sam walks in, she gets a ding on her phone, and then she sees it, and everyone starts laughing at Aisha. She was embarrassed, and she kind of ran off. That was pretty sad. Next scene after that, we got Miguel, Dimitri, and Eli. They're at the bathroom. Dimitri is whining because, Miguel is upset that this is his
always whining.
Miguel is upset this is the first high school dance and they didn't get a chance to talk to any girls. And Dimitri is like, well, 0 out of 0 is not that bad. And like, he's just doing some loser talk. For real. Like, really. Like, goodness. And Dimitri is okay with not talking to any girls. Then that's when Kyler and his friends walk into the bathroom. And then Miguel and his friends, they overhear Kyler and them talking. And as they're listening, Eli knocked over lacrosse sticks and they fall down. Kyler hears them and he sees them watching him and paying attention. And that's when Dimitri and Eli run off and they leave Miguel all to himself, standing in front of Kyler. Kyler tells him that
they call him Rhea all the time.
Yes.
What is that from?
Okay, so in episode 1, when Miguel, when he saw Johnny in the convenience store,
Rhea.
That's right.
That's right.
So he was buying the Pepto-Bismol. So they thought that he was buying it for himself. So they decided to call him Rhea.
I thought that's what it was, but I forgot about the Pepto-Bismol part where they poured it on him.
Right. So Kyler tells him to better watch out. That bum's not here to save him. And Miguel tells him well, that bump is he's not a bum. That's my sensei. And then they mock him and laugh at him because supposedly now he knows karate. So they're they laugh at him. And Miguel starts to think back to everything that he's done with Johnny. He sees himself in his head breaking the boards. So he says, okay, it's time for me to step up. And he kicks Kyler in the chest, knocks him down. Kyler looks stunned when that happened. But then all of his boys, they grab him, and he doesn't know what else to do after that.
You ever been in a fight like that?
No.
Where it's just you and like 4 other guys, something like that?
No. Actually, man, since I've been a martial artist, I have not really had any real fights.
Good. Because they're expensive.
Expensive. And I hang out. I've been in situations where my fraternity brothers had altercation at parties, and it's so crazy. Like they would be downstairs on the bottom floor, and I would be all the way up at the top floor talking to someone. When something happens, it pops off. By the time I get downstairs, everything is over with. So there was a few situations like that, and even in hip hop, everything always happened after I left. It got to a point where there was one friend of ours. She was like, Gene, you're not going anywhere because every time you leave, something happens. So we all going to leave together. Like, normally I'm there real quick and I leave out early before traffic, before everybody else leaves out at the same time. But my friends, they wanted to close the club down and I wasn't with that. So, so
that's where all the fights happen.
Yeah. So I wasn't thinking that way. But anyway, so they have Miguel and they beat him. All of Kyler's friends are holding him. Kyler has the lacrosse stick and he's just beating Miguel in the body with it. And it was real messed up, man. Hurt him bad. The next scene, Johnny is walking the hall still, putting up flyers. He walks by a display case and he sees some old school pictures in there. And in there, he sees Allie, his girlfriend from the movie. Now, as he's looking at the display case, he sees Kyler and his boys come out of the boys' locker room. And they're congratulating each other, and they're real hype, and they're all happy, and they're in a good mood. Johnny thinks that something is wrong. Let me go take a look where they just came from. He walks in the locker room, and he finds Miguel on the floor, hurt. And that is the end of episode number 3. You got anything else you want to add on to that?
You know what? I'd give it to Miguel. Go for it, man. Especially the way that ended. The way that ended there, I'm like, yeah, man, go for it. But he was stunned himself. That was the problem. It wasn't just that Kyler was stunned. It was just when Miguel, blasted him with that thrust kick and knocked him down, he was like, it works.
Yeah, exactly. I think – go ahead.
Well, when you're in a fight like that, that's kind of what I was mentioning. Like when you're in a fight like that where it's like, all right, there's 3 or 4 of them. Like there's no – if you make the choice, it's like, all right, I'm going to bring this to this level. You're getting stuck. There's no way around it. There's no way around it.
Yeah,
right? I've done it one time where I've had a fight like that, and it was an unescapable thing. And again, it wasn't something I started, but it's like you look at the survey of the landscape as to where you're at, and you don't see an option that ends without people getting whooped. And now you have to make a decision.
But I know what that decision is. I know what that decision. Now, even though I've never been in a fight like that, me and Ski were like this growing up. But me and Ski always said, okay, if we ever get jumped, all we're going to do is hone in on one person because we know we're going to catch an L. We're about to lose. But if we lose, we're going to take one of these guys with us. And I'm so proud of myself for not cussing right there. But we always said, if we get jumped, hone in on one person, and we're going to take that one down with us. So, of course.
Well, that's the problem, is I was stuck in a scenario where the group I was with was dispersed through this whole area. Mm-hmm. And now I got them. And we all got jumped individually.
Man, how many people was there? Like 20? Like
it was more than that. It was more than that. It was it was like 4 or 5 a piece minimum.
Oh man,
so
that's
just
some
look at it,
stuff.
right? So you just look at it, and I never forget. I was in St. Paul. St. Paul is another level, man. We were like in East St. Paul. East St. Paul is very hood, right?
Really.
But it was like the party was cool, but it was then all of a sudden, and you know what it was? Here's the irony: it was a Halloween party. That's some irony right there, isn't it? Look at that.
For sure.
So, and you just look at it. You're like, there's no way around this. You just got to keep going, and you go and you go and you go. You just that's what Johnny said. It's like you don't need to work on defense. You need to work on more offense, which is accurate in that scenario. Right. And yeah, you get whooped. I had my nose broke, but whatever. I've had this thing broke like 17 times.
Oh, wow. No, man.
Mostly point fighting. I will say that, you know.
Oh, okay. I never had nothing on my face broken.
Stop. You've been a fighter, never had your nose broke?
Nope. Never.
Lucky. Man.
I've had a finger broken on this hand. I had a finger broke on this hand, and I have one toe.
That too.
One toe broke. But you know what? Out of all of my injuries I've had, only one came from karate. I was throwing a reverse punch at someone at school, and he sidekicked my hand as I was punching. The other injuries came from my brother. He pushed me off of a bunk bed, and I landed on my finger. That's how I broke the other finger. The other, my toe, he was in my room. I told him to get out. He didn't want to leave. So I ran across the room and threw a flying sidekick at him. And he moved, and I hit the corner of the door. Not the door, but the frame. Yeah, and I broke my toe, and I had crushed it. So my injuries have not come from Christ. So that's why when I was doing MMA, and I got hurt in MMA, I hurt my wrist in MMA, and I said, okay, I'm about to stop now because I was 30, and I said, well, I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to go far in MMA. I don't have any serious injuries. Let me stop because it took about 3 months for my wrist to heal up. Typically, you know, when you're hurt, when you're younger, you know, you're hurt for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and then you're fine. But it was 3 months.
You're 24. You bounce back like you got shot with rubber bullets. You just keep going.
Yeah, but this wrist, it was taking 3 months.
Saying not my fault. Okay.
Yeah, right. Whatever, man.
Well, he's not 100% wrong.
It's his fault. He pushed me off that bunk bed. That was his fault. Okay, as far as the me kicking the door, you know, all right, it's whatever. It was my anger. Let's get into episode 4, man.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Okay, so episode 4, it starts off. We see Johnny's son, Robbie. This is another character that I didn't really care for throughout the whole series. He is inside of an electronics store. He's pretending to work there. A customer comes up, brings his laptop, and he's telling them about the problems he's had. And he is saying that he can fix it. He's seen these type of problems before, this, that, and the other. Well, basically what he did was he lied. He has on his friend's shirt, his friend's name tag. His name is Eduardo. And he says that he takes the laptop. He goes outside where his friends are waiting. He has Eduardo outside and also 2 other friends. And he tells Eduardo that we're going to get you your cut. His other friends.
Wait a minute now. All right, what was that? Like, all right, like get Robbie slick move, slick hustle. But how could he pull that off without other employees seeing that?
That I know. I agree. That was stupid. Somebody just said, like, who are you? What are you doing?
Unless he's working there alone.
I don't think so. Like
I thought I saw another employee, but if Eduardo was working there alone, like, all right, here I'm in the store today. This would be the perfect time to run this hustle. All right, I suppose. Good hustle.
I don't think
so. So he's playing computers.
It's a dangerous hustle because I don't know any electronic stores that don't have cameras on the inside of the store. So honestly,
not only that, Gene, can't they find that laptop with an IP address? It don't matter where. Yeah. Right?
Well, it doesn't matter. You know, honestly, it can fall back to them because Robbie and his friends are going to immediately sell the laptop on, I think it's Craigslist that they were going to sell the laptop on. And they had multiple people who wanted to buy the laptop. I think it was 3 people.
And then they said, Venmo me.
Yeah, that's right. So then,
caught that right too.
So then they say he tells his friend who seemed like the leader. I think that guy's name was Chris. He tells Robbie to tell everybody to send him half of the money because I guess they were going to sell it for, was it 400 or 800?
I think I said that, something like that.
Okay, so they tell everyone to send them half, and they're going to give the laptop to whoever shows up first. And Robbie didn't really seem like he was cool with that idea, but he went ahead and I guess did it anyway. Before they left, he looks down at the ground. He sees one of Johnny's flyers. His friend comes up to him, asking him, "Are you interested in taking karate?" And he tells him, like, "No, this is my dad." And then we get into the episode. Next scene after that, Johnny is drunk. He's walking down the street
all the time.
Huh? You said all the time.
All the time.
I mean,
I've never seen so many Coors. I've never really known anybody to drink just Coors.
You know,
right? Like Coors Light. Yeah, I've seen people drink that, often, but I've never really known anybody to just drink Coors.
Just that brand. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a big beer drinker. I'm not a big drinker, period, right? But after this show made me want to try the Coors Banquet.
That's the other thing I thought about. So I thought, you know what? That's good. They paid for advertising. They for sure did. And there's other things like the cars in there that they had. Yeah. They had to.
Well, yeah, you got to think, man, this was on YouTube and there were no commercials. So a lot of this is product placement. And I think on one of the episodes, before the episode starts, it even says that there are product placements in this episode. But yeah, this TV show, it made me go in, and I've had quite a few Coors banquets. I'm like, it's not so bad. I can keep doing this. So he's drunk, and we see him flash back. He's thinking, as he's walking down the street, he's thinking about what he just did. He just took Miguel home to his mom. And she opens the door. She sees Miguel in Johnny's arms. She screams. He puts Miguel down. She tells him to get away, stay away from her son. Miguel doesn't want Johnny to leave. Johnny apologizes for what's happened, but his mom wasn't having it. So he felt bad after that. So he had a reason to kind of want to be drunk because he's feeling like that was his fault that Miguel had got hurt like that, He put confidence in him. Now he wasn't ready.
You know what, though? What's interesting, though? That's true. So when you say, like, he had a reason to want to be drunk, like, I've just never done that. I feel like to do that to, like, oh, man, this is a crappy situation I'm in. Let me go get drunk. This requires so much work.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to go have that much to get to the end result, which is go to sleep.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
I've only been drunk. I've only been drunk one time, like seriously sloppy drunk. I've only done it one time. It wasn't fun. Like the next day,
nah,
it wasn't fun. Now my podcast partner, I'm quite sure he has some stories. I know my buddy got some stories for us. Mike, get at me. We'll talk about that.
Mike has. When we did the draft, Mike showed he showed his bar area.
Mm-hmm.
Mike's stuff is high class.
Yes,
high class. Like I had a couple of bottles, and I thought, man, I got some good stuff here. Mike had that in drawers, man. He's got high level stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I would imagine.
So Johnny is walking down the street. He's drunk, and he looks up. He sees a billboard. It has Daniel's smiling face on it. I would have been pissed off when I seen that billboard at that particular time also. He kind of stumbles away and he sees another guy with a spray can. Johnny approaches him and says, let's trade cans. And that's the end of that scene. Okay, the next scene, Daniel is upset. He's trying to make up for what happened with Sam. So he decides that he's going to get up and make her favorite pancakes. And I'm trying to compose myself because the little fat kid walks into the room, Anthony, and he comes in and says, "All sweet cha-ching." And That pissed. After seeing it so many times, when I hear that, I get upset because I know what's going on with this kid. Daniel tells him to save some for Sam. Those are her favorite. Anthony says, "So what? I don't like pancakes." Clearly, Samantha is Daniel's favorite child, and I understand why.
Well, so I think there's two parts. So one, Anthony is punk and is great at it. Two, Anthony realizes that Samantha's his favorite, so he's just like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna test your patience, old man.
Yeah. So Daniel calls for Sam. Anthony says he makes a pancake taco with whipped cream and syrup, and the syrup is just dripping down. Like, it's no way my parents would have let me eat a pancake like that. Folded up in my hand, dripping syrup and whipped cream. That would not happen.
Dude, I don't even put syrup on my pancakes.
I gotta put some syrup on. I can't eat a dry pancake.
It's fried cake.
I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not like it's cornbread.
I don't even.
It's a pancake. It's a pancake. It's not cornbread.
I don't even give my kids syrup. I don't.
Well, I mean,
my daughter gets it sometimes because my wife likes it. So yeah.
Okay. Now Sam walks in the room. She doesn't speak. She immediately walks in and walks right out. So she's avoiding Daniel because of what happened at the Halloween dance. She's still upset with him. Next scene after that, Daniel is driving to work and his wife calls him, Amanda. She tries to prepare Daniel for the billboard. Daniel thinks she's talking about his rival, Tom Cole's billboard, because it's up in front of his, and it's huge. It's a big billboard. And Amanda tells him, no, I'm not talking about his, I'm talking about ours. And as she says that, Daniel looks up, he looks at his billboard, and he sees someone has spray painted a giant red dick going into his mouth on the billboard.
I mean,
Daniel was pissed.
Yeah. As far as doing like high school type graffiti like that, that was the best.
Yeah. We eventually find out who did that. I don't think I would have ever had the balls to climb up on a billboard. I've never been up.
Heck, I've never been up that high. Yeah. I'm not going. No. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm not testing it either.
No. I'm not doing that. So then Daniel is talking to the police after he sees that. And, he's kind of bragging about all the different things that he's done for the policemen, and he's their biggest supporter. All of that talk is unnecessary that he's doing. But I understand he's very frustrated. He's angry. He wants them to get out and do something. His wife, Amanda, she tries to look at the brighter side. She tries to calm him down. I like her. She's like the voice of reason.
Oh, yeah.
She's the perfect wife for Daniel. Because she's a little bit calm, laid back, because he gets a little too worked up and hyped, You got anything else?
Yeah. So I like her comment. She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. After a while, nobody's gonna see it. It's not even really your billboard anymore.
Right.
It's the Dick's billboard.
Right.
He's gonna look at it like, that's the Dick billboard. It's not even you anymore. If you're gonna calm him down a certain way, all right, that was pretty good. Hand claps to you.
Right. So then Miguel's mom, next scene, Miguel's mom, she's taking care of Miguel. He doesn't want to tell her who's bothering him and what happened. So she, up to this point, has no idea that he's been getting bullied at school. He just tells her that he wasn't ready yet. I need more lessons. I need to practice more. She says no more karate. Now, Miguel's grandmother, she agrees with Miguel. She thinks that he just needs more practice. But Miguel's mom, she's not buying it. She calls Johnny a loser. Miguel gets upset and says he's not a loser. He's a great man. That was funny because when he says that, the very next scene, we see Johnny laying on the floor, drunk, passed out. We see a
beer spilling on the floor.
Right.
He's great. He's great at something.
His phone rings, and it's the principal of his son's school, Robbie. And she tells him that Robbie had been caught. That that Robbie had been away. So this is the second time that she called. So this time when she calls, she thinks that they are on a father-son trip to Colorado. And Johnny does not know anything.
On the Colorado River.
That's right. The Colorado River. And then she also tells him that she doesn't approve of Robbie being out of school for a month. Johnny does not know anything about that.
Right.
And she says that if he's not back within a week, that Robbie will be held back. So obviously, Robbie just was giving up on himself and his life at that point in time. Johnny walks out of his apartment. He sees Miguel waiting for him. Miguel, tells him that his mom doesn't want him working out, training with Johnny anymore, but he has an idea. Maybe he can come by after school. And then Johnny's pretty much had it. He's going to close down the school. He's pretty much has had it. I guess it got to him that he's not getting any students.
He's that. Apparently, he just took all that money
and wasted
his stepdad gave him and just spent it on building the school up.
Man, that was a lot of money too that he spent. I mean, goodness. I mean, I was always wondered like how much was it that his stepdad gave him?
A school to look like that, probably a couple $100,000.
Wow, really?
Probably.
I can do that in Detroit and not spend $100,000. I can do that easily and spend maybe $5. So. But you might be right because what? You probably are right because he had some things that he needed to take care of, licenses and getting the building up to code and other things. So he probably
I know what it costs to build up a school, like build out and not even look like that great. And I'm not gonna name names or where or anything like that, but like I was in it, I was a part of it, and it was like, it was. For everything, just to build out alone and what the cities will do to you. You're pushing like 160,000.
Probably so. And we're talking about California. We're talking about the Valley.
Yeah. Now we're talking about,
Yeah. So you're probably right, man. It was probably, something like that, man. Anyway. The next scene, so Johnny disagrees and he's closing the dojo now. Next scene after that, Sam arrives at school. She tries to apologize to Aisha for what happened. Aisha tells she's clearly upset. The kids are making pig noises at her. She tells her that she's going viral now, and she just kind of walks away upset. That's when Kyler approaches Samantha. And he's telling her that he got the tickets for the movies. They're going to go to the movies together to see a film that's, I guess it's like a girl movie.
It's like a chick flick.
Yeah. And, she's Samantha's trying to warn him. And like, are you sure you're going to like it? And he says, oh, yeah. Just don't make fun of me for crying or something like that. But Kyler also has ulterior motives also because we see his buddy. Duh. His buddy is making hand signs. So, he's planning to do something else. Next scene after that, Daniel is texting Samantha, and he's trying to get her to call because he wants to talk to her. He wants to apologize for how things went at the party, but she's ignoring all of his calls and all of his text messages. He's in his office when his customer service rep comes in. She asks him if he paid for 100 sausages. He doesn't know what she's talking about. He goes and looks at the note and finds out that it's from his rival, Tom Coles. So Tom Coles saw the billboard. He thought it would be funny to send 100 sausages over to the dealership. Daniel doesn't find it funny at all. He's a little pissed. But Amanda's, his wife is just trying to shrug it off and say, well, we got free lunch for everyone. Daniel's really not too happy with it. He wants to see the billboard. So he calls his cousin and Anoush, who are up on the billboard painting over the dick that's on his face. When he FaceTimes them, he's not happy because they didn't start in the middle. He wants to get that out the way. He wants it to be over with. But they started on the ends, and they're going to work their way to the middle.
I don't even think they could go. You can't go up and start painting on a billboard.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't spray paint on there. It don't matter whether you're the one who paid for the advertising or not. You can't just go up there and start painting whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, well,
especially in the middle of the day.
He is someone, I guess, that feels like he has power in the valley.
He can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know those billboards were painted. Like always thought that was like some type of I don't know what I thought, like some type of mesh or
it's almost like it's like a wallpaper. Only
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the paint for?
Yeah, because it doesn't look like either one of them will be able to paint Daniel.
If you wanted the thing to be done, just rip the thing off.
Right. Next scene after that, after he fusses at his cousin and Anush because Daniel wants that dick off his face as soon as possible. They tell him, "Don't worry, we're going to get it done." And then Anush steps in some feces. he stepped in some
dog crap up here.
Yeah. But then they said, "How would a dog get up there?" So then they realized that it was a human who had been up there. Which they should have known that anyway. If a dog didn't go up there to spray paint that. Next scene after that, Robbie and his friends, they're at Robbie's house. They're watching porn on the laptop, so they haven't gotten rid of that laptop just yet. Oh, actually, it's not really porn. It's girl dancing. Johnny comes in and says that turn down your boombox. You guys didn't hear me up there. They didn't know what a boombox was. So that was pretty funny. He tries to tell Robbie. Well, he tells Robbie that the principal called him and he's heard that he hasn't been to school all this time. Robbie's not trying to listen to him. He's kind of getting on Johnny for trying to be a father figure to him at this point because Johnny has been absent from his life for majority of this time. We don't really find out what the problem is between Robbie and Johnny is until the second season. Is when we find out why Johnny really wasn't around in Robbie's life. So Johnny is he's trying to give Robbie advice, but Robbie's not trying to listen. He tries to insult Johnny and says, "What do you want me to do? Go to school so I can get a strip mall karate school?" And then he brings up Daniel and his success, and he's just really Robbie's really trying to get under Johnny's skin. Johnny starting to feel like, kind of feel like he's about to give up on him. Says, "Well, fine, go to school. Don't go to school. I don't care." And then Robbie says, "It's right. You don't care, or else it wouldn't have taken you 16 years, to get here." Now, next scene after that, we got Miguel, Dimitri, and Eli. They're in the library and they're talking. And Miguel tells them that he's going to stop doing karate. And Dimitri says that's good because it was giving you confidence.
It was building your confidence.
You loser. You loser. Goodness gracious. I just don't know what to say.
Dimitri needs... Yeah. The world would be better off with less Dimitris.
But you know what? There are people like that and there are students like that. They're the type of people that you just have to have extreme patience.
No patience, because Dimitri's doing more damage than anybody in the whole series.
I understand that, but I'm talking about if this kid was in your karate class, if he was one of your students, Dimitri, and his Dimitri's, and you didn't just push him away, right? You still tried to work with the kid,
Okay, so yes, I learned a long time ago how to be a chameleon, right? How to be able to mix with different people, right? And be able to do that. All right. So relatability and adaptability, I learned how to do that. But I got a certain amount of I really don't care, So,
Now, when you say that depends on the age of the student, though, right? Like you wouldn't give up on a 8, 9, or 10-year-old kid that has a mouth like that. Like you will have more patience with them as opposed to someone who is 15, 16 years old.
Well, see, as long as you just set a standard, you set what it is that you're willing to accept, and then if they fall outside of that, then you check them, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to check. You don't have to, smash them.
No.
You're not going to hit them. You can just say, if they're just like, oh, sorry, this is going to be way too hard. I think I'm going to sit this one out. And you're like, well, no, that's not an option. You're doing this or you're out. Like, and it's not like a thing, but you're not more important than the rest of the group. You're not more important than the rest of the class. Look at him. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, your friend, the one who's doing everything that we're all doing. And you're going to look him in the face right now and tell him that you're more important than him. That's right. You're not going to. You know why? Because you're not. Just like I'm not more important than you, but I have a role just like you have a role. So you have a choice. You do what we're going to do or you leave. And I'm not going to make you do whatever you want. But whatever you're going to choose, you got to do it right now.
Right. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, I get passionate about that.
That's cool, man. It's no problem. So as Miguel and Dimitri and Eli are talking, that's when Kyler shows up. Kyler,
this dude,
and he's picking on Eli this time, and he's talking about his lip and how disgusting it looked. Miguel tries to stand up for him, and they kind of push him away, tell him to get out of here, or we're gonna beat you up again. Eli and Miguel start to leave. They grab Dimitri's book bag, and then they end up throwing it in the garbage can, and there was some yogurt in there, and he got it messed up. His book bag messed up. Sam overhears all of that. She kind of sees and hears everything that's happening. So now she has a different outlook on Kyler. Kyler and Yasmin are more bullies than Johnny.
They need to be together.
Yes, and we kind of see that later on. But they're more of bullies than Johnny was in the first Karate Kid movie. Because Johnny only had a problem with Daniel. We never saw Johnny picking on any other students in the school. Everyone seemed to like him. So that's why I have a problem saying that I don't really think Johnny was a bully. He just had a problem with what Daniel did. And that's understandable. He was, butting into his business. Okay. The next scene after that, we have Daniel and Amanda. They're meeting with the marketing department. The marketing department, they're trying to go over different advertisements for him for his next quarter for Daniel's auto dealership. And then they decide to show him what Tom Coles did. And I don't understand, why are you guys working with the same company that's working with the competitors? It seems like that would have been a conflict of interest.
It is.
At first, I didn't know if they worked directly for them, but then it kind of seemed like they didn't work directly for them, like they were outsourced.
Oh, do you think maybe they just showed them like, oh, by the way, this is what your competition just did?
Well, they did it for their company.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, So
all right,
that's
what I thought.
Yeah, so he sees the commercial for Tom Coles. Tom Coles is calling himself the ultimate patriot. He's giving away a cactus. He was talking about the type of plant that the cactus was and how it doesn't waste water. And Daniel took it like he was talking about me because I give out the bonsai trees. You're trying to say that you're more patriotic than me, you're more American than me, and that I'm a water waster. So he is
exactly what he's doing.
So he gets upset. That marketing company could have been like Tom Coles probably could have sued that marketing company for showing him that, because that has to be some privileged private information that they have, and they just showed it to his competitor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I forgot a scene before that scene even happened. Miguel, he was getting out of school. And his mom pulls up to take him out of school. She wanted to surprise him and take him to the movie.
She embarrassed him.
Right. And he was a little upset. He was a little bit embarrassed. He feels like you're just trying to make sure that I don't go to, do karate or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So he just says, I don't want to go to movies. I just want to go home. Right. So we got that scene taken care of. Next scene, after Daniel and Amanda are talking with marketing, we see Johnny. He approaches his ex at a bar, and she's out there on a date. And she's talking with a guy. Johnny approaches them, and he wants to talk. She doesn't really want to talk to him. The guy goes away and gives him a moment to talk. He tells her that Robbie is at home, skipping school. He's smoking dope. He's hanging out with the wrong type of guys. And she's, she didn't really seem to care about what was going on. She says that Yeah, she said I can't make him do what he doesn't want to do anymore. She tells him, like, now you're trying to step up and be a father. You gave up on day one. The guy comes back to interrupt, and then Johnny tells him, like, look, she's not going to go down on you unless you buy her some dessert, you know. And the guy, he made that face that you just made, and he kind of walks away, and they continue to talk, and they don't really get anywhere. She thinks that Johnny is just trying to get over it, either trying to stop paying child support or whatever, you know.
But that's, you know what, both she and Robbie are just trying to the moment he comes back, they're trying to just stick him with a knife.
Yeah.
Because they're hurting. And that's what hurting people do. Hurting people hurt people.
Yeah, and
that's all they're trying to do.
That's stuff that happens in real life also, you know.
That's what I'm relating it to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say how because that ain't right. But, like, I know this scene.
Okay.
I know this scene.
Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so the next scene after that, Daniel decides he's going to go talk to Tom Coles. He goes into Tom Coles' auto dealership. Daniel tells him that he saw his ad. Tom didn't really seem to care. He asks him, what did he think of it? Daniel tells him that he feels like he stole the plant idea from him, that Daniel's a water waster, and he's un-American. Tom tells him that he's just doing what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I'm what did he say that he wasn't, I can't remember off the top of my head what he said he wasn't. He says, just like you're not really a karate guy. Daniel says, I am a real karate guy. Daniel bragged like I was 2-time All-Valley champion. Once again, I mean, they put so much.
Talk about peaking when you're 17.
Right. He put so, and like, who cares if you won 2 tournaments when you're 17 years old? And really,
I tried doing the math on this, and I'm like, so in theory, they're like 53 years old at this point.
Yes.
Time to get over high school.
Yeah.
But if you're in your mid-50s and you can't get over high school.
Well, obviously, Daniel can't because he has a problem with Johnny, and he's still flashing back to the things that Cobra Kai did to him. Yeah. So, obviously, he can't get over it. And Johnny can't either because we see him flashing back also to losing this.
Johnny's trying to get over it, though. He's trying to move past it. Daniel's riding the coattails of high school still.
Right. You know, so Tom tries to make peace. He asks Daniel if he wants a boba. Daniel says no. Tom tells him, that you must be full from eating all that dick. That was funny when he said that to him. And everyone in the dealership laughed. And then Daniel did the worst spinning crescent kick. Well, I'm going to say Ralph Macchio did the worst spinning crescent kick ever. And he kicked the boba tea out of the hands of Tom Coles. And he thought that he did something by doing that. He thought
such a punk move.
He thought
and he's just like, oh yeah, great. Like you're the bully now again. You're being the a-hole. Yeah,
because he was the aggressor.
Right. So now you've done that. Somebody says something to you. You don't have the ability to have a quick witty remark back. So you've got to make it physical. But now look at what you just did. You just sprayed that all over the entire showroom. Do you know what they have to do now? Because you're a punk who gets caught in your emotions. They're your emotions. They're yours. You keep them to yourself.
And you know what? In a real world situation, if Tom Cole wanted to be petty, he could sue Daniel for assault. You know? So
that's 5th degree assault right there.
So the next scene after that, we see Sam and Kyler. They're at the movies. And Kyler is trying to put the moves on Sam. He's trying to get intimate with her. But she's upset. She's still thinking about what she saw Kyler. Because up to this point, she's never seen Kyler do anything bullyish. She's never around. Even though this is the 4th episode and he's been doing stuff every single episode, she's just never experienced it or seen it. And now he's trying to get a little aggressive with her. He's touching her, grabbing her, and we see her display her martial arts skills because she gets out of his hold and she pushes him down. So she has a little of whatever Steven Seagal does, because that looked like one of the moves that he would do in his movies.
Like a little Aikido?
Yeah, exactly. Next scene after that, we got Johnny. He's in a diner. He's having a burger, and he looks over and he sees a son and his dad. They're having the ice cream. They look like he said they're having a good time, and Johnny's starting to feel bad. And I guess he's feeling bad for two reasons. Number one, because he missed out on that with his son. But also he's feeling bad that he started to bond with Miguel, and Miguel got hurt. So the next scene after that, he decides to go to Carmen, who is Miguel's mom, and apologize to her for what happened. He tells her that Miguel is the only person who has never given up on him. He's pretty much begging and pleading for her to allow him to come back and work out with him. He says that if she to trust him, if she lets him come back, he'll take care of him. And then he just walks away, and she's standing there looking at him. She closes the door, and then her mother tells Carmen that she likes him. That was a nice scene. What did you think about that?
I've seen that scenario play out before. Like, that's cool. Where, like, I was one of my instructors. There's a buddy of mine who was like stupid talented, right? And he had friends that were black belts, and they were like extreme form martial artists. And he was just like, "Oh, you mean like this?" And he did like a barrel roll or butterfly twist, and they were like, How the heck did you do that? Like, you do martial arts, obviously. He goes, "No, I just watched what you did." They're like, "Stop." They were just doing all sorts of tricks. And he was just like, "Yeah, it looks like this, right?" They're like, How do you do that? And he goes, "I don't know. I just watched what you did." Get the heck out of here. Right. So my instructor calls him. He goes, "Hey, we got to do this." And he was like, "No, my dad said I can't." So he's like, "Well, we got to change this somehow." So this is confirmed from like 3 different people. Like, this is how this happened. So he went to his house on 3 different occasions, begged his parents to let him teach him karate. And he goes, "Listen, your kid's not only going to be good, he's going to be really good." And they go, "Well, he doesn't need that. He needs a part-time job." And he goes, "Listen, this kid gets a black belt. He's got a job. I'll hire him right away. Right away," which you did. Yeah. Did
dad like that?
Yeah. All you had to do was say there was money involved.
Right?
However, but now my buddy, he had a part-time job to pay for his lessons to get him to that point.
Okay. All right. Well, let's let it work out for him.
Yeah. So I've seen that scenario play out before.
Okay. All right. Last scene. Next scene. We're almost done, man. So Daniel is talking to Amanda. And he's feeling bad about his relationship with Sam. He's pretty much starting to give up. Anthony comes into the room. He's complaining about a dry English muffin. He says, "What is this, Afghanistan?" Daniel says, "This isn't a restaurant." And then that's when Sam comes in, and she's in a good mood. She tells, Daniel says that, the weather's supposed to be nice this weekend. You can have Kyler come by. And she tells him that, Kyler won't be by anymore.
I gave him deuces.
Yeah. He's done. And then that was it for them. So, Daniel was a little happy, but he was trying to pretend that he wasn't happy.
Right.
Next scene. Johnny is in the dojo. He's packing up. He's about to close up shop. He's putting things in boxes, and then he hears the door open, and he comes out onto the floor, and he looks and he sees Miguel. Miguel says that my mom says that I can continue to train. And then he says, "Well, do we still have the dojo?" And then Johnny says, "Well, we do for now." So then Johnny gets in his face and he tells him the reason why you got beat up is because you needed more offense. So he's going to teach him more stuff that he needs to handle Kyler and his friends. Next scene after that, Daniel is happy. He's in a good mood. Kyler's gone. He's riding to work. He's driving around. He thinks that Tom Coles is the person who messed up his billboard. He drive past Tom Cole's billboard. He gives it the finger. He goes by his. He sees that Anush and Louis have fixed his billboard. He's in a good mood. He walks into the dealership. He sees Anush and he sees Louis, and they tell him, "Okay, we have a problem. We found a bunch of these on the billboard." And I had a problem with this scene only because if you're up on a billboard, the wind would have blew those flyers off of the billboard. There wouldn't have been a stack of flyers on top of the billboard.
Unless
they were under a brick or something.
Well, there was a brick that got laid somehow. Did you remember when he took a dump up there?
Yeah, I just figured he just sat down and just.
Maybe he dumped him on that. Maybe he dumped. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. Like, there is no possible way that, like, days and days later,
right?
You just found him. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So then Daniel sees the flyer, and then he knows in his head who spray painted the dick on his billboard. And as the scene is ending, we see Daniel thinking, and he's pissed and end scene. And that's it. So I understand, man. There's no way I'm going to be able to get through 3 episodes in the time allowed that we have. It's not happening. So I'm just going to have to do these 2 at a time. But this was fun, man. What do you think? Dude,
I'm into it. Into it. So this is funny. So in National Karate, once you reach like a 4th degree black belt or higher, I'm a 6th degree black belt. Okay. You have a black uniform with gold trim. When I was a 4th degree black belt, at this point, I had just started. I don't know why. It was like summertime. My hair was like super blonde, right? Uh-huh. And I just wasn't cutting my hair. And people would just randomly, they were just like, "Dude, you look like Johnny from the Karate Kid. You look like Johnny from the Karate Kid." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." We're talking this is like 2006 and 7 or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." But I always kind of thought I was like, that would be so freaking cool to be Johnny from the Karate Kid. Halloween, I would love to be Johnny.
Or do forms in a tournament like that? Would you do that in a Johnny? Yeah.
But I can't do forms anymore. I can't do forms because like I tried showing you my finger. Like, look, I can't. Fist. Like if I show up, I do a punch like this. Like, sorry, you lose. Like you can't do that. For anybody looking and listening, well, if you're just listening, go back and look at Alex's messed up pinky. Yeah,
man, that's
it's got some jactitude to it right there.
You have to do a whole bunch of knife hand strikes and
everything will be nice. Which, by the way, we'll say this. So we've watched it. We've watched their karate up to this point. What do you think about their karate?
Okay, whose are we talking about? Are we talking about the type of martial arts that they put in? I think
what you're seeing in the shows. We're 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
What do you say about their karate?
It's not bad. Of course, it's not realistic. It's all right. It's doable. It's passable. After me and Mike have seen so many of these different movies, we've seen worst.
Oh no, this is good in comparison.
Yeah, this I don't really have a problem. I have a problem with Ralph Macchio, the way he does karate. Like the scenes where he's actually doing it. Like he's not that good.
Like, come on, man. This is the only notable thing you've really done outside of My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah,
your whole life. Like, don't you think you could have learned to kick? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Let's just think.
Well, that's what William Zabka did. He actually studied martial arts after the Karate Kid, and also, because he did the other movie, Shoe Fighter, that me and Mike reviewed also. So he's been in martial arts in some form of fashion. So that's it for this. For 3.
Here's what I'll tell you. Their karate they're doing. It's not. It's like 2 things. One, clearly you can tell that their stunts are sport karate influenced.
Yeah. Except for the second season. Their karate is too advanced in the second season.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you just figure out how to do tricks. Like get that out of here.
Yeah.
But like their karate is not karate. It's like clearly Taekwondo. Like even the made up stuff that they're doing, like their traditional stuff, like. This is just you're doing Taekwondo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm saying.
So you know what I think? I think one day we should do this, man. Not just us, but the whole Martial Arts InterNetwork. We should, the whole main game. We should jumble up these shows. Again, like CTE might be Travis and Chris and Mike. Inside Scoop.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Inside Scoop could be you and Carlos, and then me and Jeff could do Fist Kicks and Flicks. I think that would be fun, just to jumble it up one day. Maybe we should all talk about that in our good
idea.
Our group text.
I like that.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do next week. We got episodes 5 and 6. We're gonna knock out. I don't know who's gonna be here with me. Hopefully, Mike. I know he's doing some moving around. Something. I briefly looked at the text message he sent earlier.
Hey, this is a blessing in disguise for me. I tell you what, I love this. So I'll jump in anytime, man.
Okay, for sure. All right, so that's it for us tonight. Or if you're listening to this tomorrow, that's it for us today. That's right. You got any closing remarks, Alex?
No, go in there. Cobra Kai never dies.
Okay, next week we got episodes 5 and 6. So that's it for us. For me, Gene, for Alex, and everyone on the Martial Arts InterNetwork. Our producer Travis Cloud, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.